Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are all doing well. It's been a fantastic day here in the UK. Sunshine, nice weather. Everything's been chill. And normally with the sunshine comes the hay fever. So I have a serious case of hay fever today. I've been out and about, so I do apologize if you're going to hear me sniffing every now and then. Big up to everyone. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. This is the Everton versus Chelsea match preview. We're going to be discussing the TUCHEL press conference. We're going to be building a predicted lineup. And we're going to be talking all things Chelsea. And I'm going to be doing it with an open stream tonight. Tonight's stream is going to be open. So I'll have the link in the chat in a moment where everyone is able to jump on and discuss the news with me live, direct. If you want to comment in the chat, you're welcome to do so. If you want to jump on and talk to me, you're welcome to do so. Before I get into all of that though, we discussed the Todd Boehly situation yesterday in the stream last night, and him being the chosen bid by the Ring Group, the only one left in the race. And we also addressed the Jim Ratcliffe bid that came out of nowhere. It looks like this Jim Ratcliffe bid carries more weight than we thought it did yesterday. It looks like Chelsea are even potentially going to be listening to him and discussing with him. There are implications in respect to this because the process that was being put in play by Chelsea via the Ring Group, Jim Ratcliffe didn't even acknowledge, didn't even partake in that. Yesterday, I was under the impression that he did submit and he was a mystery bidder, but no, that isn't the case. Today, it has become, it has become apparent that Jim Ratcliffe went around the Ring Group. He did not even submit any form of bid to the Ring Group. Not yesterday, not 2 weeks ago, not a month ago. He didn't even acknowledge them. He put his bid directly to Chelsea Football Club. He posted his £4.25 million bid directly to Chelsea Football Club, potentially to Roman Abramovich. And Chelsea are actually looking into that. They are listening. They are evaluating what is going on through the Ring Group. That process is continuing and everything is running smoothly. Todd Boehly, the preferred bidder. However, Jim Ratcliffe is not out of this. Keep in mind, lads, this is someone with very close ties to the British government, to the Conservative Party specifically. Therefore, him being given a wild card is not something totally out of the norm and shouldn't be neglected when we are assessing what could happen to Chelsea Football Club moving forward. And again, lads, hay fever, eyes watering, all kinds of things are going on. So I do apologise. So the whole situation is not clear cut. Todd Bowley preferred bidder. Jim Ratcliffe is also still in this game. Todd Bowley is a consortium. Jim Ratcliffe is an individual. Todd Bowley will be in charge of running Chelsea Football Club, but he will be waiting and demanding and requesting money from entities that are backing him. Jim Ratcliffe, straight into his bank account, and he will deal with the business like Roman did. Pros and cons to both systems as addressed yesterday. Let me say hello to the people in the chat. I've got some real champions in the chat. Let me just say hello to the people in the chat and then we'll continue. Who do I have? I've got Courtney, early doors. Bless up, big up Courtney. Iman, big up to you. Thank you for retweeting. Much appreciate that. Much appreciate that. Jeff, big up to you. Good to see you here. Sam Ballard, welcome. Pleasure to have you on. Nick Blue, welcome Nick. Governor, big up to you. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Bobby, how are you? Concerned about the cost of replenishing the squad this summer. Yeah. Bobby, I'll be putting the link in the chat in a few minutes. We can discuss that. The Frank Lampard derby. Send them down to the championship. You know what? We don't. They're going down regardless, man. I mean, let's have a look. Let's have a look, because they are in serious trouble. Everton are in some serious trouble. Where are they right now? Where are they? There they are. 18th. Won one game in their last 5. Drew 1 and lost 3 games in the last 5. What are they on? 29 points, 32 games, 2 games in hand on Leeds. Potentially could be... Yeah, it's going to be a tight one for them. It's going to be a tight one for them. Let's look at their fixtures. What does Lampard have to deal with? He's got Chelsea, then Leicester, then Watford, then Brentford, then Crystal Palace, and then, good old Arsenal at the end. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one for Everton, for Frank Lampard. Chris, hello, everybody. Hope you all are well. Like, share, subscribe. The Blue Line is the best Chelsea fan channel on YouTube. Fact. Big up to you, Chris. Yeah, Bobby, I don't know. We'll discuss this in a minute. R.I.P. Mino Raiola, the best agent in football. It's official, lads. It's official. Mino Raiola has passed away after a battle with illness. He's been ill for a while. A couple of days ago, it was reported that he passed away. But this time, it's been reported that he passed away, and his family have acknowledged this fact and have confirmed this fact. Mino Raiola, not a lot of clubs liked him. Not a lot of fans supported him because he was a little bit assertive in his manner, in the way he did business, but he always had his clients' interests first. He did the best that he could do for his clients, and that's what you'd expect from a football agent. Put his clients first. Sometimes it caused problems for clubs when trying to acquire players. us, particularly last season with Erling Haaland. But yeah, life begins and ends, and that is a fact. No one is going to be here forever. So rest in peace, Mino Raiola. And you were a good football agent for your players. RIP. Horizon, he's more wealthy than a woman. Is a big boy, don't go play. I don't know what you mean by that. Governor, or Gav Hodds, smash the like button. Big up to you, Gav. Much appreciate that. Who else do we have in here? Have I missed anyone? Eric Blue, yo, Eric. Link will be coming in the chat very soon. John Arnold, big up to you. Big up you and the channel. Big up to you, John. Ian Spence, hi. Come on, Chelsea and Rangers for tomorrow. All right, big up, Rangers fan. Have I missed anyone? Machiavelli. Machiavelli حبيبي عيد مبارك إن شاء الله كل عام وأنت بألف خير. All right, that's it. Let's get back to the stream. Why is this screen still up here? Stop screen. All right. Now, lads, I'm going to put the link in the chat because today it's going to be a interactive preview. Let me see. There we go. Control. All right, so the link has been posted and it has been pinned up top. If you want to jump on, you're welcome to do so. Click the link in the top of the chat and you're welcome to jump on. All right, yeah, so as I was saying, in respect to the ownership situation, either way, Jim Ratcliffe or the Todd Boehly consortium, I believe, will be a win for Chelsea Football Club. I think there is pros and cons to each. There's pros and cons to each one. Whichever way it goes, whichever way it pans out, there's pros and cons. And I think, end of the day, Chelsea are the team that will benefit. We talked about the benefits of the Todd Boehly consortium yesterday. Todd Boehly, the way he approaches things, the way he sees things, the way he analyzes things, the way that he feeds on success. He wants to be proficient in the way he handles his business. All of that is exactly what Chelsea need right now. So I'm really keen to see Todd Boehly become the new owner based on that side of things. At the same time, Jim Ratcliffe, a more centralized way of doing business. He makes all the decisions and he spends the money that he has the way he sees fit. Similar scenario to what we saw with Roman Abramovich. And again, the fact that he is doing his bidding this way, it shows that the man is quite keen on this transaction. But he doesn't want to go through, the what's the word here? The hassle of the whole bidding process. He just wants to go straight in there and bypass all of that. And the fact that Chelsea Football Club are contemplating and listening and considering his bid, that's saying something. Let me welcome Chris, Nick, and Bobby. How you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm doing good, Chris. Nick, how are you?
Yeah, hi, Mo. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm thinking about this Ratcliffe. I heard some stories about him. That's why I'm a bit.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying hello. We'll come back to Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Bobby, how are you?
Yeah, good man. Good.
All right, lads. we had a very long discussion yesterday. Bobby was there, so was Chris. We had a discussion in regards to the Todd Bowley and the benefits of Todd Bowley. In regards to Jim Ratcliffe, because, it's a little bit of an unlikely outcome that he would be the new owner. But it's not impossible. It is a possible scenario, and I want to know, should it happen, would you guys prefer it to Todd Bowley? I mean, this guy's British. This guy knows football. This guy is a billionaire, the richest businessman in the United Kingdom. There's a lot of things going for him. I want to know your position as Chelsea fans. Your position in regards to the Jim Ratcliffe situation, and I'm going to start from Chris, and I'll work my way down. So, Chris, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, me, I don't have an issue with him because people are saying that he's a Man United fan, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Really? I mean, I don't care who he supports. Really, he's buying Chelsea, and he has Chelsea's best interests at heart. I'm all for that. But mate, he owns Nice. His company owns Nice. So I don't know what's going to happen. Is there does he get a time frame where he gets Chelsea and then within a certain amount of months? Because obviously he's not going to sell Nice like that. It does take time to sell a club. So does he get a certain time frame by UEFA?
Apparently, there is a bit of a grey area when it comes to owning multiple teams in Europe. Unless they're competing against each other directly, then you have an issue. So both of them need to qualify for the Champions League, and I'm guessing then something needs to be done. But until that happens officially, it might be a little bit of a grey area. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just think obviously that's going to be if he is. I don't think he will be, but obviously, I'm not going to rule him out completely. But yeah, well, I think that would be a bit of an issue. Secondly, he's got money. As he says, he's Britain's richest man. So I don't have an issue with him. He seems to be a sport fanatic as well. He bought Team Sky, the cycling team, turned them into, I think he named them Ineos or something, Ineos Cycling or whatever. So I don't have an issue with him at all. I think my preferred one would be Todd Bowley due to the research and what I've heard about him. But I wouldn't be against the idea of Jim Ratcliffe. I mean, I think he was involved. He tried to buy Chelsea when Roman had these visa issues. But he said at the time that it was too much money. But my point, that was a couple of years ago, and what Chelsea were valued at about $2 billion. So if you're saying no to $2 billion, what's changed? Then obviously we won the Champions League and stuff. So yeah, I'm not against them, mate. I think it'll be good for the club, and as you said, a British bid for a British club. So let's see what happens. I think it'll be Todd Bowley, though. I think he's just going to be the one that gets it.
I'll be honest with you, Chris. I would rather see Todd Bowley purely on the facts that we discussed yesterday with his mindset and the way that he wants to do business and the way that he wants to handle the club in a more proficient manner. That encourages me. However, the fact that Todd Bowley, his net worth, and he is leading a consortium rather than him being able to directly invest. I mean, his consortium would have to invest. That for me is a little bit of a put off when it comes to the other alternative, and that is Jim Ratcliffe, who has access to billions, and it's just there in his accounts and whatnot. So, but then again, we're going to go back to where we are today, and that is burning money, without really knowing the value of it, and having a transfer budget that is a quarter of $1 billion, with a massive contract or massive wage structure, and still not being able to to get players that
it's back to square one.
Fit the bill. Yeah, back to square one. I mean, we'll have another Lukaku in a couple of seasons. Another player we're going to spend $100 million on, and he ain't going to do nothing for the club.
Sounds great. Sounds exciting.
It's exciting. It makes a lot of good YouTube videos, but we don't win a lot of competitions with players like
7
that.
touches, not good enough.
Yeah, all right. We're going to see the predicted team here because I think Lukaku might be starting tomorrow. All right, let me go to Nick Blue. Give me your thoughts on Jim Ratcliffe, mate.
Yeah, the good thing about Ratcliffe is on his own. That's the only good thing I like about him, and he's loaded. He's very rich, as we know. But I don't know, Bowley just comes across better the way he's been talking. Well, I heard of him. Well, he's talked with the Chelsea supporter groups, promising what he's going to do. So I just fancy Bowley. But Ratcliffe, I don't know much about really. I don't know. I know he owns Nice and that, but would he do the same? Would he redevelop the bridge and then do everything like Bowley said he would? That concerns me. Really, yeah.
Well, apparently he would, because he's already highlighted his budget for the next 10 years when it comes to investment. 1 billion to redevelop the stadium, and 750 million to inject into the transfer kitty. So that's already been outlined. Whether it's enough or not is debatable, because 750 million over a 10-year period is a little bit low for Chelsea and our standards. So we'll see.
I mean,
if
he does, like Bowley said he would, I'm all for it. But the good thing is he's on his own, so he's going to make the decision. It's going to be like Roman, but not exactly the same. No one can be like Roman, we know that. But we're in a win-win situation now. Bowley or Ratcliffe, we can't go wrong. That's what.
Yeah,
that's only.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree with you. I agree with that statement. I mean, Bowley has his pros and his cons, and so does Jim, and they're both different. Both bids are different, but both bids are very strong when it comes to the future of Chelsea. It's just one will take you in one direction, while the other takes you a different direction, and it depends what direction do you prefer. I prefer the Todd Bowley direction, but I wouldn't be against the Ratcliffe direction neither. I can live with that.
Bowley, from the start, I said it. I fancy Bowley. I still think he's going to win. Yeah, but Ratcliffe, if he does win, we ain't got nothing to lose. So, it's a good situation for once. We don't have the rickets and all that rubbish going on. So we got rid of all the bad wood. Now, we got two big investors, big billionaires. Let's see who wins now.
Yeah. All right. Fair comment, Nick. Let me bring in Bobby. Bobby, your thoughts on Jim Ratcliffe, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this all day, really. Not Jim Ratcliffe per se, but what is going to happen with the new owners. I mean, this is it's a mammoth investment. The purchase price alone is stupendous. Then they have to budget for the new stadium. And then they absolutely have to look at the playing staff. We have issues. We've inherited issues. Yesterday we spoke at length about the board. I think the more I scrutinize it, the more I see the board has really derailed the club with their decisions, such that now we have to make quick contract extensions. The manager, Reece James, Mason Mount, possibly even Kante, review what we want to do with Aspie. There's quite a few key contracts that need to be looked at and need to be extended. We need to get rid of a load of dead wood. No point in the Barclays of this world. Saul Niguez, it's sad, but for his wages, he needs to go. I was very upset when I got onto a platform this morning and listened to how one person spoke about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I don't know why people attack this guy. You know, this is a player, a lot of the time they don't understand that he plays out of his best position and he does it to help the team. He's the best utility player we have, really, if he stays fit. And, you know, we need to keep him. But there are lots of other players that we need to get rid of. We need to do something drastically about the forward line. Now, people may ask me, Bobby, why all this? Why not just, you know, let the new owners come in and then we build slowly to get back into challenging for the Premier League? Unfortunately, those days are gone. We had our chance to build slowly when we won the Champions League, and instead we weakened instead of strengthened. Now there's no more time. Haaland will definitely go to Man City now, especially with the passing away of Mino Raiola. The gate is open. And once he's there, we have a very, very formidable opponent. Liverpool is hard enough. And we all know that once you start toying with the top four and you drift out of that top four, getting back into it is a battle in itself. So we have to hit the ground running. It's as simple as that. We've got to replenish the squad. We've got to so much. They've got to set up a new board. They've got to bring in a director of football. I guess the reality is we will need time, but we've got to, have a strong investment over the summer to equip us to challenge while we're building ourselves. A big advantage is hopefully they extend the coach of the contract of Tuchel and keep Tuchel because he will assure us a lot of stability. But there's a lot of money to throw around. And I am very keen to know what the financial plans are in relation to the team and the strategy is of the new owners. Ratcliffe's proposal of, is it 175 billion, 1.75 billion over 10 years, whatever, coming out as I think we calculated yesterday, 75 million a year. It's not enough. That is no plan at all, and not when you're having Real Madrid, picking up players and giving them wages of 250 plus a week. It's high stakes, high finance. And on that note, I don't know if Ratcliffe is really the person. I mean, 4.5 billion into the purchase of the club is a nonsense. Who is it going to? It's you've just said, okay, I want this club 4.5 billion apparently into charity first before I start looking into the club. It seems odd to me. It just seems odd. And at this point, if I was in any doubts, I think I now have a side and I'm team Todd Bowley. I'm on Bowley's camp because Ratcliffe, yes, British person, British club. Is that enough?
Bobby,
These days, irrelevant.
yeah. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a follow up on this, but before that, lads, we've been streaming for half an hour, and we're on 32 likes. So that's one like a minute. One like a minute, really? Come on, lads, do us a favor. Let's get it to 50. Let's get it to 100. Let's give it to Let's smash some records. If you're watching the stream and you haven't hit that like button, that's not very nice. So make sure you hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. Let's get the likes in early to get the YouTube algorithm to recommend this Chelsea fan channel. You're a Chelsea fan, you got to be helping the Chelsea fan channels. My tongue. Chelsea fan channels need your help. So hit that like button ASAP. Bobby, my question to you is this. Chelsea Football Club has always been the ugly baby. All right, the disliked child. of British football because
Certainly of the
we've had,
media, yeah.
media and government and officials and
Yeah.
FA and everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone dislikes Chelsea, and when this war happened, it was the perfect opportunity for them. It was given to them on a plate. Let's stick it to Chelsea. I mean, even EA Sports FIFA, I think it was last week, they announced the Premier League team of the season. The Premier League team of the season. Do you know how many Chelsea players are in that team of the season?
Well, let me guess. Zero.
Zero. All right. Chelsea are third in the Premier League, and not a single one of them was even nominated for the shortlist to be in the team of the season. And the reason is because Roman Abramovich is the owner. So by EA Sports FIFA doing this, they're actually going to save lives. They're going to help people in this war situation.
Stop the war.
It doesn't make any sense. Exactly, it doesn't make any sense. Now, knowing that as we do, Jim Ratcliffe, British businessman, Tory, backer of the government. You know, he donates money, he supports, he funds, he has a lot of ties to the British government. He's the British version of Roman Abramovich for Russia, I guess. So would that change? I mean, if he was to be the owner of Chelsea Football Club, would all of a sudden this disliked child would become the new favorite? I mean, could you see that happening?
That's a very, very strong point. A very good question. First of all, it depends on who the government is of the day, because I understand Jim Ratcliffe's affiliations is with the Conservatives. And, we all know they're not going to last forever. These things swing in roundabouts. But he still, if that's the case, has influence in the right places. I don't know. Maybe it might get some people off our backs. I don't know. But is that the solution? Because you see, the level of investment still needs to be there. And if he's quite ready, I've heard some negative things about what he did with his staff during the time they kind of lost money, a little money during the pandemic. And things he did to their pension funds, and the horrible sort of stringent, austere measures, which shows he's a ruthless man, and he's a man that really wants to make his profit and will take no prisoners if he has to. So that's what concerns me. But politically, it's quite clear that there is a political angle to all of this, even football. I thought football was just an innocent sport, the way we all look at it and don't care about politics. But it's not that football cares about politics, it's just politicians care about football. And they decided, as far as I can see, to use a serious situation to vent their footballing allegiance against a particular club. It's bizarre, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me, because all this talk of the war and that makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So, yeah, that is an advantage. If we've got to go down that route, that is an advantage. But you see, yet again, someone like Todd Bowley, he seems so clean that I can't see him having any enemies. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, Mo. I really don't. I'm just concerned about the funding of the squad. I think it's so important. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. In terms of the political side of it, well, if we can find an advantage there, we certainly need it, because it seems whatever we do, they're still going to come at us.
All right. I just wanted to think out loud and to address that because I was thinking about that. How do we get these people off our backs? Jim Ratcliffe, that might do it. But yeah, let me jump to Eric Blue. Eric Blue, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. What's your position in regards to this Ratcliffe story?
Yeah, I don't really. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit low, but I can hear you.
Okay. Not sure why. I'll just try to. Not sure why it's not.
I mean, the audio is good. Like I said, it's just a little bit low, but it's good.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't have I don't have much of an opinion regarding the situation. I don't know too much about Mr. Radcliffe. We've heard about him a few times with this whole situation. But from what I heard of in the past, he just didn't have the funds to make a bid. That's what I assumed all this time. So I just find it a little bit curious how all of a sudden he's able to make a last minute bid of a lot of money. It's quite a lot. So I'm not sure how that happened. I don't know why he decided to wait until now. But for sure, I'm pretty like you were suggesting a few minutes ago. I'm pretty sure that if he becomes the new owner, we won't have any political worries. There wouldn't be anything to be worried about with regards to that. So that's obviously a positive thing. But at the same time, I don't really know what his angle would be. What kind of profit would he be looking to gain from owning the club? I'm not sure. The fact that he's a British owner, I don't know if that is a positive thing or not. I know he already has connections with a club at the moment. Assuming that there's no issues with that and him owning Chelsea, what would the plans be for a club like Chelsea? What would he have in mind? I don't know too many British or English owners of football clubs of this size. So this would be a unique situation. I don't know what he would do with regards to that and how he would keep us competitive. But just quickly regarding the whole thing about the money, the investments in the club, it's a big deal. It's very important. I get it. It's not enough money. That's very obvious to me. But I still think that we can manage with it. It doesn't have to be a situation where we need at least 100 million, 150, 200. I still think if we are able to, keep most of our players, we might still be able to manage, maybe one marquee signing a season or two good signings. If we make, two 40 million signings a season, it could work. Maybe uh, three 30 million signings. Okay, 30 million is a bit too much, isn't it? Because it's about 70. But I still think that it's not a situation that is impossible. We can still try and find a way around it. Hopefully, there can be a little bit more than that, in the window to spend. But I don't think it's like a dire situation that we need to just be very, worried about. But I don't really have too much to say about Mr. Radcliffe. I don't have any personal issues with him. We don't know anything, bad about him or any kind of controversial, situation with him. So everything seems fine in that regard. So I still I don't think he will become the owner. I think it's still going to be Todd Bowley, and I prefer Todd Bowley. And this whole thing about one owner as opposed to a consortium or a group of people, I don't really have a problem with a group, to be completely honest, because there are many examples of things working out with a group. Doesn't necessarily mean that because there are many people who have to make decisions, vote for a decision to be made, that there will be some kind of divided situation, and that could affect us negatively. I think even a team like Man City, for example, they're owned by a state, yes, and their owner is what's his name, Mansour, Sheikh Mansour. But Sheikh Mansour is not really involved with the club. He hires people to make those decisions, and I'm pretty sure the decisions are made by a group. And obviously, Pep is probably the head of it, and he is at the top. But it's still like a group effort. with a club like Man City, for example. So I don't really see the big issue with, it has to be a one owner situation, as opposed to a group. I don't really see that as a huge problem.
Yeah, look, the consortium is all going to be backing Todd Bowley. I mean, there is a business agreement between Todd Bowley and each individual or each member of the consortium. So it isn't going to be a problem in respect to pulling out or whatnot, or not upholding their end of the bargain. No, they're all tied down to an agreement, a binding legal business agreement. So from that aspect, it's not going to be a problem. It's just how quickly and how easily will they agree on these decisions and these steps. When you're more centralized, like Jim Ratcliffe, it'll be easier. When you are a large consortium like Todd Bowley, it's going to be a little bit more time consuming. And I guess that's the theory behind it. Whether or not it's going to be true or not, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I want to say a big thank you to Ilyas for your super sticker, my man. Thank you very much. I'm not sure what DKK currency is, but it's not the value. It's the action. So thank you for doing that. Much appreciated. And thank you for being here and chipping in with your comments and your likes and your shares and being part of this family. So everyone here, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for smashing that like button. How many smashed the like button? 40 of you. I'm still disappointed. Half of you have liked this already. What's the other half doing? I have no idea. But Elias, thank you very much for your super sticker. There was a comment in here that I wanted to address. I think it was by Dexter. Yeah, Dexter, do me a favor. List a couple in the chat, because I'm not sure what you're referring to. I know there is a couple of things in respect to him and government kind of issues, but is that what you're referring to, or is it something else that I haven't come across? I'd be interested to hear about it, because it's the topic of the hour, and share it with us in the chat. Let's get a conversation going in the chat in respect to this. And like I said, a lot of these individuals, a lot of these stories, we're just dealing with them now. We're just reacting to them now. I never really thought too much about Jim Ratcliffe and what kind of business he's involved in, and how good of an owner he would be until the last couple of days. And I knew of his interest a couple of years ago and whatnot, but now it's something that we need to look at, just like we did with the Ricketts, with the with all the bids that came in. We need to know who's going to be potentially owning our club, and if there's something that we need to do about it, then we can do it. So Dexter, thanks for your comment, mate. All right, lads, what we're going to do now is we are going to leave this topic for a little bit. We're going to look at the match tomorrow, Chelsea and Everton. Should I say Chelsea and Chelsea? Because Everton, they've got, was it 3? The manager, the assistant, and a coach all live.
And Ashley Cole as well, yeah.
Yeah, Ashley Cole, Lampard, and the third guy. I'm trying to remember his name. He was on the coach's staff. That TUCHEL's going to mention it in the press conference. So let's watch the press conference, and then it's a quick one. It's a 5-minute press conference. That's the one. We're going to watch the press conference, and then we're going to address the match, and then we're going to build our team together, lads, like we did last time around. So let me just find it. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
We had no lunch. I can, yeah. I agree. He sent me a very kind, very respectful message after I took over at Chelsea. That meant a lot, because I was a huge fan of him as a player, and he is and will remain a legend at our club. This is absolutely sure, and this is a given. And so I was very happy when he wrote me this message, showed like very gentleman-like message, and we didn't have the chance to go out and have lunch, and he took the chance to take charge of Everton. He took an assistant away from us, Joey Edwards, so we were not so happy with that, but I'm just joking. We were, like, of course, involved, and so we will meet some familiar faces on the other side with Ashley Cole, with Joey, and Frank. I never met Frank in person, so happy to meet him, but yeah, we arrive with our team. We need the points. They need the points urgently as well. And it's a very exciting week for me personally, because I love to play at Old Trafford. It's a fantastic stadium and one of the biggest stages in world football. And everybody tells me about the atmosphere in Everton, in Goodison Park, and how emotional and how tough it is to play there. So it's two nice fixtures, and this is what it's all about. So I'm excited to go there, and we expect a tough fight.
Obviously, I guess with the sanctions you can't use it.
Yeah.
Wondering, does that mean that you're less likely to use the options to buy the club, and what does it mean for his future really at Chelsea?
We will talk about it at the end of the season. In the moment, it's a bit of a difficult situation for him personally, but what I like about him that he still gives his input. It is like this in team sports. Even if it does not make you happy, and I'm sure that he is not happy about the situation, he is still pushing. He's still positive, and he takes care about the quality in training with a group that does not play so much, which means a lot to me and means a lot and means a lot to the atmosphere in the dressing room and within the group, that we stay competitive. I don't have a lot of good news for him when we talk about the lineup, and he needs to stay involved mentally and physically. This is what he does. Although it's not easy for him, and for this we are very grateful. We also demand it, but we are very grateful. It tells us that he's a real sportsman. About the end of the season is not the moment now to talk about. We still have to fight for direct qualification. Still have to fight for Champions League, for the best possible outcome, and we have a final to play, and then we talk when it's time. Yeah, but I don't know if it's gratitude. I think Frank did not do it to do them a favor. I think that every coach does it because it's all about helping the team, and it's not about age in no direction. So if Thiago helps us, we don't care how old he is, and if he can perform, we don't care how old he is, and we don't care how young somebody is. If somebody's ready, when you're ready, you're ready, and I strongly believe that you find your way if you have what it takes. I'm very grateful for the quality that the academy produces. I'm grateful for the culture at Chelsea to push these boys through and to bring them. And this is top quality. And it's our job to let them play and to prepare them and push them on this kind of level. This is what Chelsea is also about, and I'm happy for that. From the injured players, Ben Chilwell for sure not, of course, and for Kova it's too early. He's no minute in team training so far. He will not come back, and Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. Maybe Andreas Christensen, maybe. Let's see. After he was ill, and same for Ross Barkley. We need to wait until tomorrow, day after tomorrow, how they feel.
All right, lads. That press conference was actually recorded with the post-match press conference for Manchester United. So because it was so close, the two games were so close, Thursday and then again on Sunday. So that there might have been other developments that we are unaware of in regards to the team. Now, before we talk about this fixture, and I want to hear what everyone's thoughts and opinions are about this fixture. And by the way, people in the chat, the link is there. You're welcome to jump on. All you got to do is click on that link, and you can share the conversation. You can share with us the debate, because it's an open stream tonight. Anyone and everyone is welcome to come on and give us their thoughts and opinions. So, a couple of things before we discuss. Press conference was, the regular talk, nothing major. Lampard, TUCHEL. Lampard was sacked and TUCHEL came in. So there's got to be a little bit of, emotions, feelings between the two. But to be fair on Lampard, he picked up that phone and, welcomed TUCHEL to the job. He shows respect. He shows professionalism on behalf of Frank Lampard. And again, in this press conference, TUCHEL said he's never met Frank Lampard, but he's looking forward to meeting one of the club legends, Goodison. So there's a lot of mutual respect between the two, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the game pans out tomorrow because of that side of things. Frank Lampard managing a team in the Premier League and facing Chelsea. He'd done it before with Derby, but it wasn't in the Premier League. This is different. And Frank Lampard's Everton are in a lot of trouble. They are in serious trouble, and I talked a little bit about it when I started the stream. I want to just bring it back on the screen and show you guys how much trouble Everton are currently in. Everton are sitting in 18th place. Okay. They are 6 points behind Leeds. The issue here is this. 5 points behind. I don't know where 6 points came from. 5 points behind Leeds with 2 games in hand, which is 6 points. Now, they have been playing very poor recently. A defeat, a draw, a win 3 games back, and that was on the back of 2 defeats. They need to be where Leeds are. They have to win. Otherwise, Everton could be relegated this season. They've got 4 games left. They've got 6 games left. And that needs to be, for them, a win against Chelsea is a must. A win for Everton against Chelsea is a must. Now, Chelsea, on the other hand, we want to secure Champions League football. At the moment, we are 6 points ahead of Arsenal, who have played now exactly the same number of games. Can you guys put yourselves on mute, please? Can you guys make sure you put yourselves on mute? A win tomorrow against Everton would pretty much end all hopes of Arsenal catching us. That will secure us Champions League football. Potentially also secure top, be finishing the league as a third ranked team in the league. But Chelsea haven't been playing well. We haven't been playing well. There hasn't been any heart, any motivation in the way we have approached our last few games. The game against Manchester United, we dominated in respect to possession and in respect to shots. But it was still a poor performance when you take into account the team we were playing and where they are when it comes to their issues and their problems. Now, I know Chelsea have issues and problems of their own, but we are Chelsea. Nothing breaks us. Problems, barriers, being pushed back, being attacked, just makes us stronger because we react. We react. That's what Chelsea do. We don't give up. However, right now, the way we're playing isn't brilliant. It looks like we don't have nothing to play for in the league. And we're playing against a team that has everything to play for in the league. Because if they don't get a win, they're gone. They're out. Their chances of staying in the Premier League are second to none. They'll be in a lot of problems. Actually, I want to just check one more thing. I forgot to show you this. Let me just bring up one more thing I wanted to show you. And again, I'm focusing on Everton here purely for the fact that they're managed by Lampard. I'll be honest with you guys, it's purely for the fact that they're managed by Lampard, and I don't want to see Lampard get relegated. There's a bit of bias here, but this is who Leeds are playing in their last 4 fixtures. I'm gonna bring it up on the board and show you. So Leeds are playing Arsenal. Hold on a second. Okay, so Leeds lost to Man City today 4-0. They're playing Arsenal next Sunday. Then they're playing us. So we could do, in theory, Everton a favour. And then they're playing Brighton and Brentford. Okay, while Chelsea, we're playing Everton tomorrow. Okay. Now, where's Everton? Everton, they're playing Chelsea, Leicester, Watford, Brentford, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal. Yeah, Everton are in trouble. Well, so that's the situation for Chelsea and Everton going into tomorrow's fixture. How do you guys see this game playing tomorrow? And it's open, so you're all welcome to give me your opinions. How do you guys see this game playing tomorrow?
Very difficult, mate. Very, very difficult. For me, in my opinion, I don't think if Everton lose tomorrow, I don't think they're going to go down based on that game. I think, as you just showed the results there, if they don't get a result against Watford and Brentford, then Everton can say goodbye to their Premier League survival, in my opinion. I don't think tomorrow's a must-win for them. I think if they get a draw, it's a favourable result in their opinion. Yes, it's not the best, but Leeds are not safe, and neither are Burnley, in my opinion. I think Leeds, they've got difficult games coming up. They've got us, okay. They've got Brighton. Brighton play with them. Brighton's in good form recently. And Burnley, I mean, they've done well, but I don't think they're safe either. I think it's going to come down to the kind of the last 3 games. How I see, why I say it's going to be difficult is because of 2 reasons. One, because obviously Frank Lampard is obviously going to want to get a bit of bragging rights. I'm going to show Thomas Tuchel, you took my job. I'm going to show you up on that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But there's a bit of needle. I don't care what anyone says. I know Frank wished them well, but there's going to be a bit of in any job, if someone replaces you, there's a bit of, what's the word? No, I hate, but it's like there's a bit of a bragging rights to be. Okay, I'll show you who you sacked Chelsea.
We'll call it tension.
Tension.
Yeah.
And then secondly, mate, I think it's going to be difficult because in the final third, if we can't score against a team that gave us so much space in Man United, we all know Everton's going to just defend, put the players behind the ball. To be honest, I thought against Liverpool, if they play like they did in the first half, I think they'll easily get a draw. Because as I say, just breaking down teams and getting the opportunities, we just don't put them away. So I think it's going to be a difficult game. Everton, they're in trouble, mate. They are in trouble. But I don't think if they lose tomorrow, we're going to be relegating them. I think it's going to be coming against what do you call it, Watford and Brentford. So, but yeah, just win tomorrow. Let's just score a few goals. It'll be good to see Frank, but obviously I don't want him to win.
Quick, Chris. All right. Do you think that Chelsea are safe in their Champions League qualification, and specifically finishing third?
Champions League qualification, yes. Finishing third, yes, I do. I feel that Spurs will finish fourth, in my opinion. I don't see Arsenal finishing fourth because Spurs have got a world-class manager and they've got two players that can actually put the ball in the back of the net. I think Arsenal, I mean, we just give them a bit of faith, but Arsenal won't finish fourth. They're bottlers. But saying that, so are Spurs. So I don't know, mate. It's going to be a bit one of them. But yeah, I think we've got Champions League football and I think we've got third place kind of secure. But saying that, man, yeah, it's just going to them. I mean, our focus now is on the FA Cup. So yeah, but all I'm saying is, I hope we smash Everton, and I hope Frank Lampard's angry tomorrow. Come on, Thomas Tuchel, show Van Lampard who's the best manager. Come on, mate.
Which team do you think Rory will be supporting tomorrow? Don't answer that. All right, guys. All right, so who else wants to give me their opinion on the game tomorrow?
So can I have a word, opener? Yeah. I think, it's a must-win for us tomorrow. We have a one big point to prove tomorrow, against Frank Lampard. As much as I love him as a player, as a legend, great, but I've lost all respect for him, because he didn't say a word about Roman. When he had the chance to say 2 words, he didn't say a thing. Rio Ferdinand showed him up. He said everything. So I want us to thrash them tomorrow, or win at least, send them down. Chris said they haven't got a chance to go down, but or he thinks they might lose to Brentford and Watford. But we can do a lot of damage tomorrow, and send Lampard where he belongs in the Championship.
Wow, come on.
No, I mean it.
Hold on, Nick. Okay. Does Lampard belong in the Championship? Maybe it would do him good to manage, maybe. But it isn't. But to say that on the back of saying you lost all respect for him because of... You see, maybe you have, but I want to put it into context here. When that question was asked in respect to Roman Abramovich, and his response saying that he can count on the fingers of one hand how many times he's met him or something along those lines. For me, it wasn't the response I would have liked Frank Lampard to give, because of how much respect, admiration and love I have for Frank Lampard as a player, as a legend, as a person who represented my club at the highest level and did a fantastic job doing it from midfield. Okay, I have nothing but respect for Frank Lampard. But at the same time, I would have liked him to have addressed that question in a more diplomatic manner, especially knowing what I know about Frank Lampard and the way that he handles questions and the way that he thinks and the way that he addresses certain things. Frank Lampard is a very smart man, and he could have dealt with that question in a very, very diplomatic manner that would have shown respect to Roman, but at the same time, it would not have affected him as a manager of another team in the Premier League. I was going to say a rival, but it's not a rival. I would have liked to have seen Frank Lampard address it better. Maybe in hindsight, he would have thought, or now that it's gone, when he looks back, he probably wants to take that moment back and probably say something different. But at the same time, I'm not gonna disrespect or to lessen or lower the status of Frank Lampard because of that. Because people make mistakes. Let me finish, Nick. Let me finish, Nick. All right. I say things on stream here that when I watch the stream back, I'm thinking to myself, I should not send that. That wasn't quite right, and that's not what I really meant. I meant something else, but it came across in a particular way. So we make mistakes. We're human beings. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna say things that we later regret, or wish we could, fix. So let's not blow it out of proportion, that particular statement. And again, I agree with you. He did not handle it well, but I think for us to say we've lost all respect for him, for me, I just think it's a bit harsh.
Too
That's
strong.
just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's strong. I know he's strong, but that's how I feel. I love Lampard. I cheered him on. I couldn't wait to sing his song. The goals he scored for us, unbelievable. I still love him as a player, as a legend, but when I saw that interview, it just went down. It just got me. I don't feel the same with him
Oh,
anymore.
fair enough. Yeah, no,
But
I agree.
that's
He
why,
didn't choose his words right. Yeah, no, I agree. He didn't choose his words right.
But
But
consider Everton. They're in really bad trouble, and they haven't gone down. They've never been down from the old First Division or Premiership in their history. So could this be the first time for them? We've all been down except Arsenal and Everton. So I just have a feeling it could be the time for Everton to go because they haven't been down before. I don't hate Everton, not at all. I prefer them a million times better than Liverpool. I always support Everton when they're playing Liverpool and a lot of other teams. I like Everton because they wear the blue and white. And I always liked them a bit, but I want us to win tomorrow and give Lampard a little lesson. That's what I want.
all right, fair enough. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to quickly talk about this match. For me, this is it seems all too familiar because this seems like a charity FC situation where Lampard is struggling, or a team is struggling, and they come up against Chelsea and they get not just a point, they get all 3 points. So I really hope that is not the case again. I really hope we win this game. There's no excuse not to win. I think we will win, and I think we'll get the results we want. This has nothing to do with Lampard. I appreciate Lampard not just as a player. I think he was very harshly treated by some fans, and the way people talked about him was a little bit too harsh, in my opinion. Because I felt as if I believe that he did more than people gave him credit for as a coach for Chelsea, even though we all knew he wasn't good enough. He wasn't equipped to take on the job. But in terms of Lampard as the manager of Everton, I hope that he helps them stay up because this was a very difficult job for him. He didn't have to take this job. People make it look as if this is some kind of glamorous situation for him. But when he took the job on, Everton were 16th in the table. So it's not as if Everton were doing all right and then he came in and all of a sudden Everton can't win games and they're struggling. They've been struggling for a long time. And this is more to do with the club and the way it's run than anything else. This is not about Lampard. This is not about Benitez, who was there before him. So if Everton get relegated, it won't be Lampard's fault, in my opinion. It will be the fault of the club and the way it's being run. But I don't think they'll go down. I still think they'll make it somehow. Them going down will not have anything to do with this game because you have to be realistic and pick and choose where you will most likely get the points you need. And we can even talk about how they've been given the short end of the stick in some matches, how they haven't been treated fairly. But in the end, the table doesn't lie, and if they go down, it will be because they deserve to go down. But hopefully, I think they need to finish ahead of Burnley. I don't think they'll finish ahead of Leeds. Leeds will probably push up the table. I think they need to get ahead of Burnley somehow, and hopefully that will be how they stay up. But it's looking very difficult for them. And I don't think that, they're going down because they never went down before. These kind of things just happen, Even the whole thing in Arsenal. Yes, they didn't get relegated, but how did they get promoted? It was some dodgy business going on there. But we don't talk about that one. But yeah, let's just hope for the best results. Unfortunate situation with Lampard. If I were advising him, I would have told him, don't take the job, maybe take a different job. But then at the same time, if you see an opportunity as a coach, who knows, the next time he'll get a chance to manage a club again. So it's a difficult one, but hopefully they stay up and hopefully Chelsea win the game tomorrow.
I'm gonna say something, and this is gonna be controversial, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off. I want to see Frank Lampard managing Chelsea Football Club again in the future, and I want to see him do what he's got to do to learn the trade, to learn this job, because he is not a good football manager at the moment. He doesn't have what it takes at the moment, but I think he needs to learn and to develop, and this is why I think managing in the championship for a couple of seasons might be what he needs, because he needs to strengthen his management skills. And when I say management skills, I mean people management skills. Because and again, I am looking at this from an external point of view. I think Frank Lampard, one of his key failures when he was managing Chelsea is his relationship with the players. What he did with Marcos Alonso lost him a lot of respect in that dressing room. He could have handled that a lot different. Especially with the fact that Marcos Alonso is one of the senior players in the team. Okay, so he needs to learn how to handle players and how to interact with people better. He needs to learn tactics better. Okay, because for him to tell players, all right, go out there and win the game. How? Or just play a good game of football. How? Or score a couple of goals and don't concede. That isn't management, man. That isn't management. That's just common sense. He needs to learn management. And I think he needs to go in the championship. This fight that he has on his hands now, that he needs, to keep Everton up. This is good for him.
Yeah.
If he makes it good, if he
Don't
let me finish. Can you just let me talk? Nick, this is the Blue Lounge. Mo is the host. Let me talk. He needs to be able to improve on a lot of levels. And I want to see him do that because like I said, I loved Frank Lampard as a player. What he did in the first season as Chelsea manager, he did okay. He did a good job. Okay, but when things started to get real, once he got some big names on his books, some personalities in the dressing room, he couldn't handle it. He was good when he had Mason Mount, Reece James, Fikayo Tomori, Tammy Abraham, these youngsters, these young English lads that he probably could relate to a little bit better. He was doing a good job. When the following season, when Hakim Ziyech came in, Timo Werner, Mendy, and Havertz and X, Y, and Z player, he couldn't handle that well. And I think he needs to get better, and I hope he does. I wish Frank Lampard all the luck in the world. And I hope one day he can come back. And I hope he can come back and manage Chelsea to a title. I don't want him to come back because he's Frank Lampard. I want him to come back because he has done so well that he is one of the best managers around. And he's a Chelsea legend. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge. That's what I want to see. Yeah. And again, I know a lot of people in the chat were not happy about me saying that. But that's just how I feel, and I just wanted to say it.
Can I just add one thing, Mo? One thing we forgot to mention. Jody Morris. Jody Morris is not with him. I think that's affected him at Everton. Jody Morris was doing all the work at Chelsea. Lampard didn't know much, really. He couldn't manage players, like you said. And I can't see him being a top manager. I know, I wish he does. I wish he does come back to Chelsea one day, even if, I don't respect him. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's like Gerrard. Not every single great player can be a top manager. Not everyone. I don't think he's come up for it.
Yeah, well, like I said, he isn't. He currently isn't. That's what I said. He currently.
And don't you think it's to do with Jody Morris as well? His failure
I'll come back to that. I don't think Frank Lampard is good enough
Yeah.
to manage Chelsea Football Club. Not now, not for a few years. He doesn't have what it takes. I hope he gets there. And if he does get there, I'd love to have him back at Chelsea. But he needs to get there first. Jody Morris played a fantastic role in bringing through these youngsters from the academy into the first team. Jody Morris with Frank Lampard together, they did well. And I have a lot of respect for Jody Morris, both as a player and as the assistant coach to Frank Lampard. And I wish them both well. I wish them.
But
I
you know,
genuinely wish them both
he
well.
didn't take him with him. You know, he didn't ask Jody Morris to come to Everton. That's his big mistake.
That's his business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He can, Jody Morris was in charge of the development squad, and therefore it made sense for Frank Lampard to utilize him in that season when they had a transfer ban, because they needed to get players from the development squad into the first team, and therefore Jody Morris was the perfect man for that position. Today he is a manager of Everton. There are other individuals that will assist him to do that job better than Jody Morris, because Jody Morris is not managing or ever managed the development squad at Everton. Let me move over. Can I move on, Nick? Do you let me? Do you let me move on? Boogeyman is sitting there.
I just want to mention
swaying.
Jody Morris.
No, you're not
Morris
mentioning.
is a big part.
You're not mentioning. You're not mentioning. All right.
All right, never mind.
He's still talking. All right, thank you. All right, Boogeyman. Firstly, I hope you've had a safe trip. Welcome back. Boogeyman actually attended, and I'm disappointed he didn't tell me, and I found out afterwards. He attended the Chelsea Man U game at Old Trafford. He went to watch that game, and he didn't tell me. So I'm disappointed in you, Boogeyman. I could have drove over there, and we could have had a coffee or something. We could have, but it is what it is, Boogeyman. It is what it is. Welcome.
I think it is. You should blame the British way of scheduling events. But that game was scheduled in May 16, and I had the 2 tickets. For some reason, they rebook or they reschedule the game earlier, which I've never heard in my life. That an event that is cancelled or whatever happened to it, you schedule that event after the previous date. Now anyways, everything was
forward.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. And it's also during my birthday. Today is actually my birthday, and 3 days
Happy
ago.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Boogie.
Thanks,
guys in the chat. Wish Boogeyman a happy birthday. How old are you, Boogie?
Yeah,
Happy 28th, Boogie. Happy 28th.
I forgot, man.
Yeah, once you get past a certain age, you forget your birthdays. I know the feeling. I'm there.
3 days ago was my daughter's birthday, so I have to squeeze the Manchester United game in between and run into England and come back. So I was pretty rushed, anyways. That's the whole thing. And even myself, till the 25th or 24th, I was still asking myself, is that even worth it to take all those risks going to England and come back? But then I was like, yeah, I'm going. That's it. So anyways, that's the reason why I didn't tell anybody,
Boogeyman, you're a true blue. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, man.
Oh my days, get a room.
Anyways,
Boogeyman, we are talking about the game tomorrow between Everton and Chelsea, between Lampard and Tuchel. Everton are in a position where they have to win. Chelsea are in a position where they need to turn up and just not lose. I mean, what's your thoughts on the game? How do you think this game is going to pan out tomorrow?
yeah, to be honest, I don't care about what happened to Everton. I don't even care about what happened to Frank Lampard, because I think Chelsea, as a Chelsea right now, we have our own problem to deal with. We need to win this game just for the morals, to get the players, to get them something to be happy about, and hopefully they figure out those things about the owner, and we just move on with our life. Whatever happened, listen. For me, Liverpool and Manchester City are the only 2 teams Chelsea should be looking at. We need to catch those two. And whoever we destroy in our way, I don't care about them. Lampard, Everton, who cares? I don't even. And Lampard he's rich, and he's pretty much had everything in life. So even if he doesn't become manager, who cares? Life goes on, right? For me, it's Chelsea. Chelsea need to figure a lot of stuff. We need to keep our players on as much as we can, as many as we can, as you said, and keep doing what we do, and we'll see, man. And tomorrow, I think we need to win.
I want to ask this question. I want to ask this because we spoke about this a little bit ago. I mean, do you think, or do you want to see Frank Lampard succeed as a manager, or you don't care?
Just because he's a Chelsea through and through. I love him. I have his jersey also. I only have 4 jersey, and Frank Lampard is in it. So
right,
I love him. I like him.
Fantastic.
I like him to succeed.
Do you think he will ever become good enough to manage Chelsea?
I think I've seen worse in EPL. I think but the other thing, he always gives me these vibes. Okay, this team is not my level. I don't want to coach this team. I'd rather coach this one. That's the thing I don't like about him too much. Like when he was called for I think it was Brighton. No. Where is our midfield? Our youngster midfield is playing.
Derby County.
No.
Norwich.
Norwich. Is it Norwich?
Gilmore. You're talking about Gilmore, right? You talking about Gilmore, or you talking about
Gilmore.
Gallagher?
Gilmore. Where is Gilmore playing?
Norwich.
Norwich. I think when that job became available first, I think they tried to reach out to Frank Lampard, and he was not interested in it at all. So I just feel like he thinks he's better than that club. That's the only problem I have with him. Other than that, I wish him all the best. I want him to succeed. I would like to one day see Frank Lampard as a coach, John Terry as a coach, whoever want to, Ballack as a coach in EPL, and I don't mind all those. But it's just now we're playing against Everton, and he happened to be the coach of Everton, and I don't mind if we destroy him and we send him to the championship. I don't care.
I just want to say something. Bobby, where have you been? I haven't seen you for ages. It's good to finally see you back in the chat. I hope you're doing good. I was just thinking the other day, Bobby Fairview's been missing for a little minute. So it's good to see you back. Good to see you back, Bobby. I hope you and your family are doing well. Speaking of Bobby, Smoky Signals, how are you? Where you been? Talk to me about Frank Lampard. Talk to me about Everton.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just listening to the others and waiting my turn. I echo Boogeyman's sentiment. I love Frank for the player he is, or he was with Chelsea. At the moment, I couldn't care less about Frank. I really couldn't. I don't care about his success. I don't care about Everton. And I do care about Chelsea. I think it is imperative that we win tomorrow. It's very, very important. We are also fighting in a measure for our survival, really, because, you see, if we don't maintain our Champions League position, going into the next season and any henceforth negotiation is going to be 10 times worse. And it's bad enough as it is. We have to look to see what kind of financial juggling these new owners are going to make to extend contracts and things like that. So I think it's very important. We must be focused on ourselves 100%. We know that the problem is, I beg to differ, people saying that Chelsea haven't played well. I think we've played very well. But what's happened at this point in the season is that our age-old problem of not finishing has cost us, really. It's been a problem, and it was exposed at Old Trafford, and it was exposed even against Arsenal. We don't finish. And if you don't finish at this level, eventually you get punished. And we have to finish at Goodison because, I could see the minds of the journalists, turning. They would love a situation where, Lampard wins tomorrow. You know, they want that, but we're not going to give them what they want. It's as simple as that. You know, the absence of Jody Morris, well, I think it has affected him. I don't know what that's about, but it could be for a multitude of reasons. Jody may not have fancied going up north with, you know, he's got family, and he might have felt, look, you know, I'll miss this one out. So, but, you know, he's compensated. He's nicked Joel Edwards. He's got Ashley Cole. You know, these are Chelsea boys and they know Chelsea in and out. So it's going to be tricky tomorrow, but I think, you know, we should have too much for Everton. You know, we really should. They are a good side. They've got good individual players, but we're better. It's just as simple as that. And we have to show it tomorrow. There's no hiding.
I forgot to mention before. We have a poor record at Goodison Park, so we need to be careful. Yeah,
we do need to be careful, and I agree with this comment here by Gov1905. He says, tomorrow for 90 minutes we forget about Frank. The game is about getting 3 points. I agree, Governor. I agree 100%. The things that I've been saying is just to add a bit of spice to the debate and to the conversation. For those 90 minutes, Frank Lampard is all he's thinking about is beating Chelsea Football Club. And for those 90 minutes, Frank Lampard couldn't care less about Chelsea. All he cares about is for his team to win. And guess what? That's how we're going to be looking at it as well. We don't care about Frank Lampard. We don't care about his, relegation battle. We're going to go there. We're going to get the 3 points. And then we're going to say, better luck with the other games you got left. But the reason why I brought it up is because I want to get a bit of context in respect to the situation from both sides, from our side as Chelsea and their side as Everton. And the reason why I wanted to focus on it is because they have a few legends, Chelsea legends, managing their team, and that is Lampard and Ashley Cole, and specifically Ashley Cole and Frank Lampard. All right, lads, we will now go to the team selection for tomorrow. And let me just bring it up on the screen. I have gone with the same layout as the last couple of games, 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2. Now, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to ask my panelists to agree on the player or the set of players, and I want you guys to either say yes or no, whether or not we should insert these players into the team. The reason being is I want this to be a combined lineup. Us here on the panel and you guys in the chat, we're going to work on this together. Now, I'm going to suggest Mendy in goal. Does anybody disagree?
No.
Panel. Anyone wants to put a case in for Kepa? No. All right, guys, we're going to put Mendy.
I know Nick Blue wants to, but he's not going to say it. I know.
Yeah, no, I want to put a case for Kepa.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because Mendy, even against
United. Hold on, Nick. Guys in the chat, type in Kepa or Mendy, so I know what you guys are saying. Let me hear Nick. Go on, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's about time Tuchel, put him on the bench for his own sake. Let him think about it a bit because he thinks he's unreplaceable at the moment. He's been giving the ball away to the opposition too often the last 4 or 5 games. I want to see Kepa have a chance. And for Mendy just to get his mind straight, that's all. That's
do you think that's a mental issue, or do you think he's just really bad at playing the ball out from kicking the ball?
He's been bad. He's been terrible.
For me, it looks like Mendy is useless when it comes to saving penalties and kicking the ball out. But I don't think his mind is anywhere in particular. All right, so we're going to go with Mendy in goal as per chat, as per panel, apart from Nick. All right, so let's go Mendy. All right, now, in defence. Let me go, Chris. Who would you start in defence?
Okay, so right centre back, I would put a player that we've not seen for a while, Chalobah. In the middle, I will say Silva, and on the left, I would play the man who's leaving from Madrid, Rudiger.
Rudiger. All right. Boogie, agree?
He put Chalobah.
Chalobah, Silva, Woody. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah?
I'll go. Yeah.
Bobby? Chalobah, Silva, Woody. Do you agree, Bobby?
So I was
Bobby's
trying
not-
to unmute.
Okay, go ahead.
What have we got? We got Mendy and who?
From the right, we're gonna have Chalobah. In the centre, Silva, and on his left, we're gonna have Tony Rudiger. Do you agree?
Yep, agree.
Cool. Eric?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
All right, guys in the chat, yes or no? Do you agree? Nick? Nick Blue? Nick, can you hear us? All right, Nick can't
I'm
hear
on
us.
mute. Yeah, now I was on mute. I will
All
go
right.
with Aspie. I think Tuchel will play Aspie tomorrow
You
instead of
think Tuchel play
Chalobah.
Aspie?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys, do you agree Rudiger, Silva, and Chalobah, or would you play Aspie? So it's either yes or no.
Are we
Gov
talking
says
about what
100%.
Tuchel? Are we saying what Tuchel will do or what?
Yeah, what Tuchel would
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Then I'm going to sit with Nick on this one.
You're gonna agree with Aspie?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Traitor.
Fair enough. Guys, Aspie or Chalobah? In the chat, Aspie or Chalobah? Because that's the only player that we have a contention on. So Aspie or Chalobah? Sorry for asking you to write so much in the chat. Just tell me Aspie or Chalobah? Aspie or Chalobah? I've got Bobby saying Chalobah. Dexter saying Aspie. Alright. Sam, Chalobah. Aspilicueta from Jeff.
Probably going to be Aspie in it.
At the moment, it's 50-50. If it's what Tuchel will do, then Aspie. So Bobby's changed to Aspie. Gabriel, Chalobah. It's a tricky one.
I just
Chalobah.
reckon he'll rest him and play Chalobah because he's not played in a while. That's
It's a must-win game, Chris.
not a must win, though, is it?
Aspie
To be fair, there's more shouts for Chalobah than there is for Aspilicueta in the chat and also on the panel. So I'm gonna go with Chalobah. Yeah, it looks like it's Chalobah. I'm just not looking forward to next season without this man. Really not looking forward to next season without Tony Rudiger. All right, are we playing James Alonso? Yeah. Anyone has a different perspective on this? James Alonso. You guys good with that?
This is
Go
a
on.
funny one.
You're gonna say Malik
because-
Sow, aren't you?
No.
Oh.
Alonso, well, I think he's proved himself. Should he rest? That's debatable. Should we
Saul
play
Niguez?
both Alonso and James without either of them resting? I don't think so. And based on that, I would put Aspie instead of James.
Aspie and Saul Niguez, maybe.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Aspie and Saul Niguez. Saul Niguez.
No, not Sal, because Lampard knows enough about our players. Although he knows about Aspie as well. So yeah,
Hold on.
He knows
Bobby,
about Alonso as well.
Bobby,
So
Bobby,
Aspi
Bobby,
and Sal Diguez, he doesn't know
Bobby.
much about.
I would literally play Marcus Alonso just to piss off Frank Lampard and hope that he scores.
Yeah, well, knowing
Can you
Alonso, he
imagine that?
probably will.
He
So
probably
yeah,
will,
put him
yeah.
in there.
If anyone
Yeah.
can score, it's Alonso.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alonso. But I'll
Alonso.
definitely change Reece for Aspi. I don't want Reece getting injured again. I really don't.
All right, lads. In the chat, Aspi or James? Aspi or James? In the chat, let me hear it. Aspi or James? I'll let the chat decide on this one. Alonso's going in, but I want the chat to decide. Aspi or James? Let me see it in the chat. Aspi or James? I have a feeling that we might see James.
Yeah, I don't even see why that question is being even asked. James, we're having problems.
Injury wise, Boogie, we don't want him to get injured. He's been he's just come back from an injury, so I think that's the idea. But
Yeah, but still, we having
said,
problems scoring goals, and people that can actually create chances.
Yes,
We
no
don't want
one
them to
can
get
tell him,
injured.
James.
For what?
And he's on form. You don't drop a player who's on form.
I just don't understand all those
do I.
concerns. Put him in. We need to score goals. We're having problem creating chances. James create chances. So we just go because we worry about player get injured anyways. He will get injured walking at home. So why can't we just use him here?
yeah,
I agree with Boogie.
Yeah, James it is. Everyone in the chat, or most of the people in the chat, are also agreeing with Boogie on James. I can see both sides of the argument, but I would play James. And all right, that's a nice man of the match card there. Okay, now this is the interesting bit, because you got the usual suspects being Kante and Jorginho. Kova is injured, but you also have Niguez and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who could potentially play in these positions. So let me hear from each one of you. Let me go with Chris. Chris, you're holding midfielders. Who would you have?
I was going to say Kante, but I thought to myself, is this a game that really will have any effect? I'm going to say Loftus-Cheek, and I'm going to say Jorginho.
Okay.
I reckon those two.
All right. Boogie?
Oh God, that would be the perfect time for Ruben and Kovacic to be here. If Kovacic was not injured, I would probably put Ruben and Kovacic. But Ruben and Jorginho is just too lazy in the midfield, and I don't like that. Saul, God, no.
Gabriel is saying Saul and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and he's just opening it up. Gabriel, it's like
that's
too much.
Thank you. Too much unknown with those two men.
It's like Lampard, 3 points. Here you go, mate. Have a good one. See you later.
Yeah. So it seems like it's going to be Jorginho, Ruben.
Jorginho, Ruben.
Yeah.
Okay. Gabriel, Barkley's injured. Ruben and Jorginho. Bobby.
Yeah, for me, I'm going with Georgie and Ruben.
All right. Eric.
Kante and Ruben.
You just have to be awkward, innit? You're my next Nick Blue, man. Kante and Ruben. All right, let me ask Nick Blue. Nick, who you gonna have?
Look, I don't drop players who are on form. It's going to be Kante and Jorginho for sure. You don't put
Kante
players.
and Jorginho.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
All right, lads, in the chat we've had every single combination you can think of. So let me see your combinations in the chat. Who do you want to see? I've got Sam Ballard saying Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Gabriel saying Saul. I think you're joking there. All right, let me hear the Kante Ruben Georgie. This is gonna be a hard one to decide. Go on, Boogie. What you want to say?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Kante, I didn't watch the press conference, but is Kante
Available.
available?
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
He is.
But I just feel like for the fact that we only have Liverpool game to play, Kante has to be used with a little bit of precaution. We can use him for 45 minutes in this game, but we cannot have Kante injured because we need him to play against Liverpool. If Kovacic is not 100% fit, Kante has to be there. So I'm not.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go either with Barkley and Saul or Morris and Lampard. They are my two options. That I'm thinking hard, but which one should I go with? I don't know. All right. You know what? I'm gonna go. It sounds crazy, but I'm gonna go with Nick on this.
What?
Nick on this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nick on this. I have a feeling this is what we're going to see tomorrow. I have a feeling. But you know what? They've played a lot of games recently.
No, but can't you walk off the pitch in Manchester, right? So
I'm actually going to go now. I'm going to go like this. I can't see him on here. Where is he? Where's Ruben? Why isn't Ruben on this? Is it on the next screen? Yeah, there he is. Okay. Lads, I'm sorry, but I really think Ruben and Georgie will be our pairing here.
Yeah.
I have a strong feeling. I mean, I see what Chris was saying about Kante would probably be not utilised properly in this game because they're not really going to be pushing forward, are they? I mean, yes, they want to win, but I think they'll be playing on the counter. So I think we need players who can create and who can pass the ball well. And Georgie's done that, and so has Ruben. And Ruben, with his attacking play.
Yeah, very direct. Yeah.
Very direct. All right, now, in regards to the 10, Ziyech, Mount, potentially. All right, who would you guys have as our 10? And I'm going to say before Gabriel says Frank Lampard. I'm going to go from Nick and I'll work my way up. Nick, who would you have in the 10?
Me, I want to put Ziyech. I want to rest Mount and keep him on the bench. If needed, he can come on. I will give Ziyech a chance. He's fresh. He hasn't played for a long time. I'll go with Ziyech.
All right, Ziyech. Eric?
This is a difficult one. I think I'll go with Mount. If I can.
You'll go with Mount?
Yeah.
Sure, you can go with Mount. So we've got one for Ziyech, one for Mount. I want to just talk to Dexter for a second. Dexter, I agree with you. If he was being played out wide, he's better utilised in the back four. If you're playing him centrally, maybe it would make too much of a difference. Gabriel says Ziyech has been missing. Let's give him a go. Ziyech hasn't been given enough game time recently, and I think it's because of this kind of system. TUCHEL prefers Mount in that position, but I wouldn't put it past TUCHEL to give Ziyech a go. There's a lot of Ziyech people in the chat. Bobby? Bobby, Mount or Ziyech? We've got one for each at the moment. Bobby, you're on mute. We'll come back to Bobby. Boogie?
I think I'll go with Mount. I love Ziyech to be in this team, but because Lukaku was not doing too much, then you cannot play Ziyech. Who is Lukaku is going to be crossing for? Kai is not always in the box. Kai is running around. So who is Ziyech is going to be crossing for? So you have to ask yourself those simple questions. Lukaku is not performing.
I agree.
Lukaku is not giving you anything. Then Ziyech cannot play. If Lukaku was to be
I
our
agree,
main man,
but who? Let's listen, Boogie. You're going ahead of yourself.
yeah.
So for you, it all depends on who's the striker, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, if we Lukaku lead our line,
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Guys, let's void the number 10 discussion for a second. Let's talk about the two attackers, and then we'll come back to number 10. Let's talk about the two attackers, and then we'll come back to number 10. So hold your thoughts on number 10. Boogie, who would you play as your two strikers? Or who do you think Tuchel is going to play as our two strikers?
Against Everton, I would love to see Havertz and Lukaku in front. But
Fantastic.
Again, yeah,
why?
That's what I would love to see.
Is it because you want to see him scoring against Everton? His former
I like
club?
Lukaku to score. Lukaku play against Everton. Play for Everton, right? So hopefully give him some motivation to go after them. And Everton defense, they're not as quick, and I think Lukaku can also handle them better. I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be my wish. Lukaku Havertz.
Lukaku Havertz.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll come back to the 10. And I'm guessing you're going to go with Ziyech. If you're playing Lukaku Havertz up front, I'm going to assume you're going to go with Ziyech. But we'll come back to number 10. We'll come back to number 10.
Exactly. Thanks.
Yeah. And guys, by the way, just to remind you, if you are enjoying this content, I would very much appreciate a subscription from you. And if you're enjoying it, hit the like button. It would mean a lot to me. Ziyech, right? Sorry, Lukaku Havertz. Chris, do you agree with Boogeyman's choice here?
I agree with his Lukaku choice, but I don't agree with Havertz. I think we should rest Havertz when we play Timo Werner.
You resting Havertz playing Timo Werner?
Yeah.
No shot for Pulisic?
No. Just Timo Werner. He's been consistent the last few weeks, and I think with his the chances he creates, he could probably set up Lukaku, but it's obviously up to Lukaku to do more than 7 touches. So
I mean, I'm seeing resting Havertz and whatnot. I can see that happening. Havertz hasn't been fantastic recently. He had a lot of chances against Man United and straight down the goalkeeper's throw. I don't know. Nick, your two strikers.
Yes. Yeah, Lukaku for sure. He has to play this game for me.
Right.
Because Havertz hasn't been on, he's overplayed. Another one like Mount, I'm going to see on the bench. And it's very hard. It's Pulisic or Werner. It's a very hard choice there. I wouldn't mind either, but I'll go with Werner because he's been on form. Yeah, Werner, Lukaku.
Guys, we got to clip this. Chris and Nick agree on something. Clip it.
It's never happening again. Never happening again.
Eric Blue, your two strikers.
Yeah, I'm going with Mount and Werner.
Your two strikers, Nick.
You mean Eric? Not Nick?
Yeah,
sorry,
I said Werner.
Eric, my bad, Eric. Your two strikers, Eric, sorry.
Okay, so we're assuming Mount's going to play as a 10, but...
No, we're not assuming anything. We're not assuming anything.
Because I said, okay. Okay, so Werner will play 100% for me. But then who will partner him? I don't think Lukaku will play in this game. I think Lampard will have a plan for Lukaku. So I'm going to go with Mount and Werner up front. Yeah.
Mount and Werner up front?
Yeah.
All right, interesting. If we play Mount and Werner up front, do you know what Lukaku's going to do?
Do an interview.
he's going to run naked in the middle of the street. He's like, I can't even get ahead of Mount as a striker. Lukaku is going to go madness. He's going to go
that
mad.
will definitely make him leave. If that
Hey,
happens.
listen. He won't even get on the bus if he thinks that's going to happen.
I don't
Anyway.
think we've got a choice. We have to play him, don't we? Lukaku and Werner.
Lukaku's
I
played.
would start with.
Lukaku, in my opinion, is definitely the playing tomorrow. Especially the fact that it's against Everton. I was surprised to see him dropped or not playing against Manchester United. I thought he was surely going to start in that game. But and to be fair, if he started in that game with the way Reece James was, crossing that ball in, I think Lukaku would have got a couple in that game. But yeah, I agree with you, Bobby. I think Lukaku's starting tomorrow. Who would you play with him? Did you say? Did you say Werner? Bobby, did you say Lukaku Werner? Is that what you
I
said?
keep having to unmute. Yeah, I'm saying Lukaku Werner.
Yeah.
I've got a good feeling about this one for Werner tomorrow. It's his kind of game.
Yeah. Okay, guys in the chat, let me know. I mean, we said Lukaku Havertz, Lukaku Werner. Who do you think will be starting up front? Lukaku Werner, Lukaku Havertz. Or if you guys want to go with Mount and Werner, you can also do that. But let's be kind to Lukaku. Lukaku and Werner.
If anyone hates Lukaku, put Mount and Lukaku up front for the haters.
We don't have any haters here, man. We just have people with their opinions that disagree with each other. So there's no haters, not on the Blue Lounge anyway. So we got Lukaku, Werner, Maldon Johnson. New subscriber, I believe. Welcome to the family. Unless I've missed your comments in previous streams, and for that, if that is the case, I'm sorry, but welcome to the Blue Lounge family. Timo, Lukaku, Werner, Lukaku, Timo. Yeah, that's what it is. So Lukaku, Timo. All right, Ziyech Mount. Let me see it in the chat, guys. In the chat, let me know, Ziyech or Mason Mount. Aye, welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the family. Listen, people you've seen in the chat, regulars. So get to know them, and you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good debate, good discussion on the Blue Lounge. Guys, show some love to Meldon. Ziyech Mount. Thank you. Ziyech Mount. This is gonna be one of those that could go either way. There's a case for both. Ziyech will be a creative outlet with those crosses for Lukaku. Timo Werner and Ziyech play well together. Mason Mount would give you that press, would give you that energy. And I'm sure he'd want to impress in front of his old mentor. So there's a lot to talk to consider here. At the moment, it looks like Ziyech is getting the vote of the chat. Does anybody want to convince the chat it's going to be Mason Mount?
I think if we play in front of Frank Lampard, I think it's better to just sit Mason Mount for this one. Let Ziyech started and Mason come in.
In respect to this, Dexter, we haven't really played him centrally. We've given him a inverted role in respect to him playing a more central role, but centrally we haven't. I know Ajax played him in that role a few times. He does play well, but he is better utilized out wide. So There's a case for both. Case for both.
That's a good question, actually. But
It's a very good question. Yeah, it's a very good question.
I just think even the way you put a system, Lukaku will be more in the central striker, and Werner and Ziyech or whoever is there will going to be helping in the middle and pressing the opponent, and even taking the ball and moving the ball out wide and crossing. And there's going to be Werner and Ziyech. So it's always like that, anyways, because the two midfielders always need help. So Ziyech, I understand why someone will ask the question like that, but he's not just going to be in the middle. He's going to play from that position
Yeah.
to the
You
right.
see, I agree. You see, the thing is this. I believe having Timo Werner in attack with Lukaku, Ziyech just behind him. I think Ziyech will, drift out wide and drift centrally. Timo Werner will probably do the same. I think we'll be given. I mean, let's be honest. If you got Ziyech and Timo Werner with Reece James on the wing, with Uber Loftus-Cheek behind you, you got Alonso out there, and you still can't score a goal or two. Lukaku, you got to do something. You got to do something. If we play this formation, these players, and Lukaku doesn't score against Everton, who are struggling. All right, let's go with Ziyech. Oops. Alright. Guys, the Blue Lounge predicts Everton versus Chelsea at Goodison will be played with this team from Chelsea. Mendy in goal with Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Rudiger, soon to be Rudiger of Real Madrid, in defence, with James and Alonso on the wing. And we've got to sort out James's contract soon, because there's a lot of attention on Reece James right now, and we do not want to see him, be linked with any club. So we've got to sort out his contract and give him what he deserves. We're thinking Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho in the heart of midfield, with Ziyech just ahead of him, with Timo Werner and Romelu Lukaku to hopefully score some goals. That is the predicted lineup for Chelsea tomorrow by the Blue Lounge. Hopefully we'll get close to it. We have been quite close in our predictions over the past few games. One or two player errors, but pretty much close. Alright, that is it. I want to get final thoughts from everyone. We'll start with
me. Can I
Nick.
go first? Okay, sorry.
You want to go first? Go first, Eric.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. We're going to get a win. We're going to win the game. We have to. There's no excuse not to win. Tuchel will get his tactics right. Lampard will try to stop us, but it won't work out. I get what Boogeyman said about, not caring too much. And, the Chelsea part of me says, yeah, who cares about Lampard? Couldn't care less. Everton can go down for all I care. I don't even like the fact that they're called the Blues anyway, because for me, there's only one team called the Blues. That's Chelsea. That's a cynical part of me, but, the part of me who likes Lampard.
Eric, they're called the Toffees, not the Blues.
No, they're called
the Toffees.
Merseyside Blues, and just.
No, I've heard them being called Blues a lot of the time, actually. Even Man City. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna win, and Everton. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? It's tough for them, but yeah. Obviously, Chelsea is the main focus, and we need to get the win. We need to prepare because for me the season is over. I said it before, but we need to prepare for.
I forgot. Dexter reminded me. Also, give me a prediction.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2-0. 2-0 win. Keep a clean sheet. Mendy won't be able to get the Golden Glove, sadly, but let's try and get as many clean sheets as we can. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for having me again. Big up to the panel. Big up to the chat. And hopefully I'll be back for the post-match. Take care. Peace.
Post-match will be later.
Okay.
Yeah. The game is early, so Make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram. You'll know exactly when the stream is going to be, but it'll probably be late evening. So I'll see you guys then. I'll see you there, Eric. Take care, brother.
Take care.
Cheers. All right, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hard game tomorrow. Everton, they're going to be fighting for their lives. Don't forget. I think they're going to come out, really on it. They're going to go for it. But, we have to be ourselves. We have to put up a performance this time. We played well against United, but the finishing was terrible. That's why, I went for Ziyech, Werner and Lukaku. I think we still should win this game. But if we don't play as we should, we need a performance tomorrow. We will lose because they're going to be up for it, really up for it. And the crowd behind them, I know what Everton are like. So, I'm still predicting we're going to win. I'm going for 2-0, like Eric.
All right. We'll see. Thank you, Nick. Much appreciated. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the post-match.
Yes. Cheers. Thanks for having me on again.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Cheers.
Take care, Nick. Cheers.
Bye.
I keep mixing up Nick and Eric because of their surname, Blue. It's funny how that happened. All right, let's go to Bobby. Bobby, final thoughts. Bobby, are you there? Because I haven't heard from you for a minute now. Maybe, maybe Bobby is AWOL. Let me go to Chris. Chris, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I just hope we smash them tomorrow. I hope we show Lampard that it was right to sack him. And obviously, there'll be a bit of bragging rights, as I said. Obviously, we all know Lampard will be giving it the big one tomorrow on the touchline. Look at me, I'm Lampard. I'm Chelsea's all-time top goal scorer. Let's beat them, but nah. I expect us to win tomorrow. I'm not going to say 2-0 because I just don't see us with the chances we get. I mean, we need about 10 chances before we score one. So I reckon we're going to win 1-0. Marcus Alonso to score. Yeah. To rub it in the face of Frank Lampard. And I just hope that we show. Look, I love Frank. I love the guy. I respect him. I mean, a certain panellist went a bit too far in my opinion with his opinion on him, but hey ho. I love Ashley Cole. I love Joe Edwards, what he done at Chelsea, what he achieved, unbelievable. But they're at Everton, they're not at Chelsea anymore. I want to see his win tomorrow. So I reckon it'll be 1-0. And yeah, let's do it. But it'll be a very tough game, mate. It'll be very tough.
Yep.
They'll just defend. They'll be defending, have a low block, and it'll just be a boring game in my opinion. But hey ho, we'll see what happens. But hope everyone's liked the stream, shared the stream, subscribed to the Blue Lounge, the best Chelsea fan channel on YouTube. Fact. Have you noticed I've ended it with fact? Because it's a fact. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. So take care, everybody. Yeah, Mo, Boogie, everybody, chat. Take care. Up the Chelsea. Come on, let's win. Let's
Up the
show
Chels.
Frank Lampard who the proper team is.
Have a good night, Chris. Thank you for your kind words. See you
No
tomorrow.
worries, mate. Take care.
Cheers. Good night. All right. Before I take your final words, Boogie, I want to hear from you how you found the atmosphere at Old Trafford when you watched Chelsea play Manchester United.
It was good.
Yeah.
Actually, Chelsea fan was louder for me, anyways. I was sitting between them, in between them, so I feel like the supporters were behind the team, even during the warming section. When Mendy came out, keeper was out training, and as soon as Mendy came out for warming up, and you see the entire fan group was just singing his name for 10 minutes. It was crazy. I mean, Chelsea, we're still backing our players. It's just this whole takeover that is just it's taken too long to be resolved, and the pain in everybody's ass at this point. So they need to get that on, and we need to move on. And Chelsea will always have the fan base. The energy is there. We just need to organize ourselves a little But during the game itself, I was sitting, and the first half I was sitting where close to the Rudiger and Alonso side, and you can see how Rudiger is really important for this team. And if what every time Alonso is well positioned, you see Rudiger pressing the midfield. Our opponent midfielders is really high tempo. Every time Alonso is not well positioned, he has to come back and tell Alonso, "You take your position," and then he start pressing. Man, he's a top quality leader, and losing him is we're going to regret it for sure. I mean, I heard people talking about Dijon Sterling. Come on, you can't just you can't just replace Rudiger with Dijon Sterling. I don't think even if Tuchel is a magician, he's not gonna be able to do that. Listen, letting Rudiger go, I'm pretty sure we're putting our chance of being top four in 50-50 at this moment because you can see the guy. He's not just Rudiger we saw on TV. He's a leader. He pretty much talked to Alonso every second. Yeah, so
Boogie, when you actually watch Tony Rudiger live in the stadium, you
it's different
see
thing.
it's a different thing, and you see the impact that he has. He really is a leader. And maybe a lot of people see the good things that he does in defense and whatnot, but they don't appreciate the impact that he has
Another
on
player
our
around.
players and also the opposition players. They fear him. They fear him, and you can see
Oh
it. You
yeah,
can see it.
like you can see even that Elanga, that young the Manchester United Elanga that was playing only. Every time he has the ball and he turn around and he noticed that Rudiger is the one chasing him, he doesn't even try to run with the ball. He will wait and pass it because there's no chance you're going to escape Rudiger. So you have that fear that he is generating and that area at least of the pitch. So losing him is not a good thing, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy what we're doing right now.
yeah. No, I
It's
agree.
crazy.
I
It's
agree.
crazy. And the other thing is Silva. Man, top. Under pressure, even Silva had the ball, is always a pass. Can you believe how it's like the man has like a four eyes or three, minimum three eyes, I would say. Because he will be running and the ball in the air, but when he jump and head it, is making that is a pass directly to a Chelsea player. And you can, oh no, man. It's good. I've never seen Silva play. I mean, since Silva came to Chelsea, I didn't really watch Chelsea live that much, and so I was impressed by the Silva as a defender. Man. Really impressed. He is
Yeah,
really good.
he's a very intelligent player. In
Hmm.
his movement, his positioning, he's very intelligent. Boogie, your final thoughts on tomorrow's game?
Hey, listen, it's the story of Chelsea under Tuchel. We will move the ball around and we'll get frustrated. We create chances. Lukaku either will miss the tempo, the timing when to arrive, or he most of the time just loses concentration. Or if for some reason, I've seen Lukaku at Old Trafford last time. It's just he's it's not natural anymore. Like he the ball I've seen it was a Werner that run into the box with the ball. Lukaku just he was lost. Like you can see it, he was lost, and at the same time he tried to he tried to talk to our own striker. I think it was I can't it was Mount. Like the ball is still running. Lukaku trying to tell Mount to go on the other side instead of just dominate the boss. Go like add that confidence. Go and just play your game. Stop worrying about people around you. Stop. Just go. He just lost it. Lukaku is lost. Like there's that. I think we need a break. We need just to play this season till the end. Whatever happened with Lukaku, if he stay, he needs just to clear his mind completely during the summer. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to sell him, but man, it is. I'm now convinced that Lukaku problem is a mental. He's lost. Like he just doesn't know. I don't know.
Mm.
Lukaku came in. We need him. He cannot chase because he's in the middle of the defenders, and then he trying to get Mount to do this. He trying to get this guy to do this. He trying to get this. Man, that's not your business. If you haven't convinced those players to do that in training, it's not during the match. You will convince them to do anything. Like just do your job, Lukaku. Just show something. But yeah.
I
Anyways,
hope. I hope. Yeah. I hope he can. He can, and he will. But it's,
so
we have this whole new owner situation. There's going to be a lot of changes, and maybe Lukaku will not be given an opportunity to turn it around, and he may be sold next season.
yeah.
So we'll see what
It's Chelsea,
happens.
man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Chelsea. We need the result. If he's not given, he has
correct.
to go. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if he's gone, I'm happy. If not, then he need to clear his mind. He need to see a psychologist to just clear his mind and just reborn himself and come back and do what he knows to do at the Enter. What we saw him doing now at Enter. So for tomorrow, I think the team you put out today is a good enough team to go there and get a 3 point. But is it going to be that easy? I don't think so. Physically, someone it was Chris that was saying that they're going to be there physically. Everton is not coming to this game just to let it slide easily. No, so we need to go take the point. We need to score our chances because problem is Chelsea always have possession for 10 minutes, do everything with it, and we will always end up losing the ball in more difficult position, giving a chance to Everton to create one of the clearest chances. And most of the time, they will score it because Mendy also is not as confident as he used to be. So, is Everton going to score goals? So, my prediction will be 3-2 for Chelsea. I'm pretty sure Everton is going to score goals. As soon as we score goals, we always tend to lose concentration. I don't get it, but that's the way it is, man.
If we score 3 goals tomorrow,
I'm happy.
I'll be very content. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. Boogeyman, thank you very much for coming on. We will see you
Thanks, man.
tomorrow night. Have a good
I'll
one.
see you.
Take care,
Yeah,
brother.
take care.
Take care. Good night. Bye bye. All right, guys. We have come to the conclusion of the stream. We didn't hit 100 likes, unfortunately. 74. If you're still here and you haven't hit that like button, you know what you got to do. Smash that like button. Let's get the stream to 100 likes, even if it happens offline. Thank you all for being here. It's been a great discussion. And hopefully tomorrow we'll get the 3 points. And hopefully Marcus Alonso and Lukaku bang the goals in. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Chelsea Football Club. Have a good night, people. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Peace.